Hello, everybody. This is round two of the Naples Vice podcast. We're here talking finance, we're here talking life. And to get started today, we're going to go straight to finance because what a day. These markets, we do have a little bit of news to discuss very briefly relating to the politics of what could possibly be moving these markets right now, which is up for debate. You don't have to agree with me. Once again, this is all theoretical, and talking politics is really a useless battle. So let's go to what really matters, and that is the charts. I'm actually looking at SPX, and this is something I'm going to start incorporating in here, at least while I'm doing the everyday set of podcasts here. I want to look at intraday so we can see what kind of activity is going on an intraday basis, because this can give us an idea of what's going to happen the day after. So 15-minute candles. I'm not a day trader, but I've done a little bit here and there with forex, and I've done a little bit in cryptocurrency, and I was always a big fan of the 15-minute chart combined with a typically a 4 hour chart as well as a 1 hour chart, but that very daily chart was always very important because you want to see the longer term trend, and then the 4 hour gives you our markets like forex, futures, cryptocurrencies. But I always want to have a longer reference to base my shorter term analysis on, because we want to see what the trend is, and then we're using these shorter term time frames uh, to actually enter and exit trades. So really today, I mean, looking at the S&P, we had the big gap up in the morning. Futures were up around 20 points, I believe, this morning at around 6 a.m. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, because 6 a.m. I am still about worthless. I'm not really worth anything until about 9 o'clock. Ask anybody who knows me. Speaking of mornings, and I am not paid, but I'm going to do this. This is my favorite coffee on the planet, right here. You make a little espresso sized cup of this stuff, and you are ready for the day. There is no giving up the Navajo coffee, roasted right in Tampa, Florida. Absolutely incredible. So Navajo coffee, if this reaches you, I'd love to get a shout out from you. And I will continue to do business with you because that is absolutely terrific. So as we proceed here, we can see that on the Facebook side, we gapped up and we there's two patterns that I like to see: the check mark and the reverse check mark, and uh, particularly the stock index. Almost a reverse check mark today, where they gapped up, it rose first quarter of the session, and then typically it would sell off and break off the low. But really, we were more sideways today here in the S&P. And really not a whole lot to say on the intraday side. So really, we're going to go out into the longer term time frames because that's a little bit more important at this rate. With that big gap up, and this is something that I was watching. Okay, that's messing with my eyes. So I put on Facebook today that I was looking to close some positions depending on how we close this daily candle on the S&P today. I was looking for a close a little bit lower to the open to form almost like a shooting star kind of candle. We closed about halfway up, so I did not end up closing my positions. I do believe here with this kind of price action, and we did get the price flip here. I do believe that they're trying to get everybody long here. You know, the hell with all the news. That's such a nonsense. I think they're trying to get everybody long will they really crush this? We do have. I want to see before I start, piling on more. I want to get a better feel for where this market is headed. So I'll put on a small chunk initially, like aggressively the first, typically third to a half of the position. I'm very aggressive and I do just stacking your whole position on at one time. That's how you get burned. So if you're going to be able to go bottom fishing or you're trying to find short tops, you put on and it confirms, then you stack on the rest of your position. So it's I think it's a little bit different than like a cost basis kind of a phenomenal profits on that first. Lennar was pretty nasty, so Lynn did not update the Lennar chart. Great. Actually, I'm not really that surprised. I'm probably going to be going to a new software here because I can't have them doing this stuff. I mean, you miss a whole day of price action, you miss a lot. So let's see if we can go down to a 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hour. There we go. We got a little bit. 4 hour kind of illustrates the daily chart was very similar to this, where they had it up most of the day, and they end up closing the thing trap right there. They were getting everybody long, and they're getting ready to kill them. So I didn't take Lennar off. TLT I did not take off just yet. TLT, you can see here on the 4 hour chart. Let's see if they give us a daily. No, well we did. If this helps, we'll go back to the 4 hour chart. Trading view sucks. Yeah, so we did pull back on the daily time frame. I can see all this on my phone and iPad, but not on my computer, which I think is very strange. But on any note, we did close on the ADMA, so I did not get out of TLT just yet. This is the only position that I'm really eyeing here, and if we would have broke to a new low, if we would have broke $30, I probably would have been out. We did not today, thankfully, so I'm still holding on to VIX. If this VIXy ETF doesn't do anything this week, I am a goner. I'm not going to be holding a bag on this ETF whatsoever, because this thing will whipsaw you and you will get wrecked very fast. So you have to be very diligent when you're using VIX products, from my experience, because I have done these trades before. Not to the extent that I am for short exposure. Just, try new things. I like to put some new stuff on every now and then, and it's really heinous. So you have to be very careful with those kind of products. So bonds this week. We do get a rejection on the weekly. That's what I'm saying, the week. 41. Okay, so bonds are updated. They did bring them right back to the 8 EMA on the weekly chart. It does look like trying to support, but I'm not just finding reasons to stay in this trade. The daily chart does worry me a little bit, due to the fact that we're right here on the low of yesterday. So we're going to find out next week whether or not I want to be in this thing or not. If they start taking it away from the ADMA, I'm gone. 10-year, pretty nasty. We'll see how they're opening next week. Crude oil looks pretty solid, actually. Bouncing right off the ADMA here. We have a red 2 going above a red 1, which I think is pretty weird. You don't usually see that. Not like on this kind of level. NASDAQ futures did the same thing. I just want to clarify to make sure I did the same thing here on S&P futures. They did bounce right off. Yeah, we didn't get above that high yet, 26.75. Here's the story of the day, and this is really, I think, the big one, is the U.S. dollar, and as well as the euro. The dollar got hammered today, and I heard the Fed came out talking about how they're going to slow down the unwinding of their balance sheet. You know, really, I think listening to those people was just a complete and utter waste of time. You know, it's good to know, but sometimes it just gets in your way. And using the euro as a guide to look at this, I was talking about yesterday, and I was not taking a position because we wanted to see the reaction at 113. Well, we had a pretty massive reaction here. I mean, that was very impressive. The high yesterday at, if I can see, I'm a little blind, so you gotta bear with me. 113.92. The high today, 114.17. Impressive momentum. I would imagine a lot of short covering here because we're kind of at the end of a swing. We did get above the 50 and the 80 MA, but those are pretty much worthless at this point. The only moving average that has some substance, it's not doing the spaghetti string kind of mess right now, is the 200, which is holding up right up at this very long setup trend at 115.83. Other than that, I'm taking off the 114.52 and 114.79 levels. They're not the top of this trend channel, at least not anymore, and they're kind of losing their validity. So really, right now in the euro, it just continues to be range bound. But that was the trade of the day, up an entire penny. And that's a massive move in the currency market. Absolutely amazing. So with the dollar getting hammered, euro getting stronger, gold did as well. $22 today. $22.50 on gold. 1.76%. Massive move on gold. That's a breakout actually on here on gold. Excuse me, 1296 was the breakout zone. We're now well above that on gold. I would not be a buyer here, not after that move. No way would I touch that. Not after a candle. Perhaps, excuse me, if you really are thinking about getting into a gold position, wait to see what happens Monday. Odds are they're going to sell that thing off. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't touch it. Silver was up 2.7% today, almost 2.8%. That's what I was talking about, playing silver as opposed to gold. Those kind of gains. And silver really looked like the buy, sitting there right on the 200. Absolutely exploding today. Have not looked at the grains today. I would imagine they're probably reacting similar. I'll give Bitcoin this little bit of attention because I suppose it's due. We haven't been able to get above this 3586 level here in Bitcoin for the last now, one, two, 3, 4, 5, going on 6 days now. Not good. Not worth touching, not worth looking at. Natural gas, yeah, up today. Not even gonna bother. Yeah, beans, they're making their way up to the 928 level. I've been watching that level on soybeans. We're on a 5. If we see more weakness in the dollar, there's no doubt in my mind that that Beans will be able to do that. I mean, seeing like a 7 point move today, we get one more of those and we're above 928. Retest, then we're in SOYB call options. Corn, yeah, exploded today too. We do have this like fragment of a trend line forming here, and that probably needs to be readjusted. I don't have a position on this, so I'm comfortable readjusting from here. So top close to close. Yeah, there's doing a little bit of a breakout there in corn. I'd probably wait to see a little follow through here because it's barely above. And diagonals, you don't really need to wait for test. Wheat did not move whatsoever. The VIX index itself did break below this close. However, we haven't hit the 1721 low yet. We're going to have to wait to see. Okay, as for the charts, I think that's going to be about it. Not really much more to say there. We're just really playing a waiting game here for positions being tested and stocks being irrational. Okay, goodbye, Facebook. Okay, so Donald Trump today, uh, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi. I can't stand either one of them. They're just trash, in my opinion. Career politicians that are parasites off the world. Excuse me. They don't add any value. I mean, you're a politician, that's all you do. All you do is live on money that's siphoned out of productive coffers. So, we know the government shutdown's been going on. It's just a big political game, innocent people, hardworking people. I don't have a problem with federal employees. They're just doing a job. Someone has to do it at the end of the day. Most of these things, unfortunately, it's the government that does it. Federal employees, I would, recommend that you get into the private sector. I don't know why you'd want to work for people like, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. That clearly you're just a pawn to. So not a bad idea to consider that. But I don't understand all your circumstances, so I can't make decisions for you. So basically, they caved temporarily. The government's back open now, and I'm just thinking to myself because you look at the way that Donald Trump operates, and that dude, he's not going to do something unless there's some kind of angle. He's going to be getting some kind of a win somewhere. So I'm really wondering what that angle is going to be. I don't follow politics quite enough. I might follow it a little bit more because this is kind of fascinating. I don't really care at the end of the day. They're all going to keep stealing our money and wasting it on blowing innocent people up overseas and building stupid border walls that really aren't going to keep anybody out anyway. Yeah, neoconservatives, you can go ahead and come at me on that one. Socialism is socialism. Doesn't matter if it's done by a Republican for defense or a Democrat for welfare. So on that note, I'm just wondering, what is Donald Trump's angle, and what are we going to be looking for in the future? I don't. I'm thinking maybe there's something to do with China trade, perhaps, because since that's the narrative that's been rubbed into our face over and over again. Is he getting ready to do something with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer? I mean, really, he's making them look like the horrible people that they are, because they are. So we're gonna wait and see. And if I come up with some interesting theories regarding this subject, I'm gonna present them to you. When it comes to those sort of things, like I just like to stray away from that kind of politics because it doesn't benefit you in any way to sit there and think about, oh, this politician or this person, or they're just people. In my eyes, I would prefer to be doing something productive, like reading a book or doing a podcast or looking at some charts, or I don't know, working on something, fixing something, making something beautiful. So that's just me. So shoot me some ideas if you have any about what this possible angle that Donald Trump could have, or is he just a coward and straying away? And the deep state kind of people like Schumer and Pelosi, are they getting ready to try something on Donald Trump? That's what we're going to find out. So on that note, I will likely put some more material out this weekend because I'm going to be here thinking all weekend long. What better to do? So have a good one, everybody, and I will likely put out some more material later on this week.